Welcome back to Celtics Postgame Live. You see it there. The C's, they get this win 114-99, the final. JT coming off of a season high here tonight. 32 points, 5 boards, 8 dimes. And look who follows. You got Payton Pritchard with 28. Neemias played very important minutes, 17 and 8. And LaMelo Ball only with 19 points. He started to cruise in that fourth quarter, but not enough to get them over the edge. The Celtics, they get this one. Let's get to the dunk and dunk of the game. It's all about the dunk. It's been all about Jayson Tatum early on, splits the defense. Woo! Watch that fan right behind. Oh, different angle. But she got hyped for Jayson.
That's when you knew, Kayla. It's gonna be a loud night for Jayson Tatum.
Oh yeah, especially when you have a lot of fans out there in Charlotte that are rooting for JT and the Celtics.
No one tell them about the Duke score.
No, just UConn. Liam McNeely probably just went to his locker room, was like, okay, well, at least we got to win in some capacity. But listen, I want to talk about Jayson Tatum, Eddie, because you make such an important point. You know, when Jaylen Brown and Derek White aren't in the mix, only a few more games left of the regular season. What a great way going into the postseason, especially having clinched a spot here tonight for Jayson Tatum to have his best game.
Yeah, I've been talking about this since he came back, is that, you know, our schedule that we have is going to test him, and it's going to test the team. Or we're going to put a lot of pressure on seeing, okay, how does he incorporate? How does he get back? How does he integrate back with the team? What is it going to look like? How is he going to look? And I think by playing these teams that are not at the bottom of the barrel, that are tanking, that are teams that are literally trying to make the playoffs or playing for their playoff lives, I think it's only doing one thing, and that's helping him. It's helping the team as well, because now you're starting to see like the Jayson Tatum, like he said, he's starting to get stronger. I can see that. He's starting to feel a whole lot better, get more confident. I can feel that. I can see that. And so to me, I think the way that the schedule was set up, a lot of people were like, man, you know, we got a tough schedule. I think it was perfect for us, what's going on right now.
Chris, do you feel like after watching JT's game tonight, like the comfortability level, where would you assess that at? Because even early on watching him, I'd be like, there's a little bit, you know, he's timid and it makes sense. But right now, I mean, where are you at with him comfortability-wise?
I think, put it this way, I think there was only one play tonight that I can remember where he kind of backed away defensively from going up and challenging. But every move on the offensive end, and it's weird to say it like this, but like he looks like Jayson Tatum again, right? Like when he's first working his way back, it felt like there were instances where, you know, just didn't have the same explosion or couldn't get to a move that he normally would. Tonight he had the whole repertoire back with it, whether it was the sidestep three or driving hard to the basket, drawing contact and then fading away. Like everything that we've come to know from Jayson Tatum was on display tonight. And it's just a super encouraging sign about that if he's here after 11 games and only like 3 weeks of play, what happens in another 3 weeks when he's got another 8 games or however many he plays in this stretch to continue to shake rust and get a week before the playoffs to get ramped up while the play-in's going on. I mean, I go back to it. Like if you're one of the teams in the East and you're looking at this, you know, those nights that he was a little inefficient from the floor, you're going, okay, maybe we got a chance here. But like now, if he's playing to this level and Jalen's on an MVP level and Pritchard's playing with irrational confidence in every moment, it's got to be a little bit daunting to look at this team and think, like, there was no way they should be this good right now.
Earlier in the year, kind of more so after the midway point, I was kind of saying, look, I think Pritchard, because we didn't know what Jayson Tatum was going to be like, you know, making his comeback with this injury, and he looks ridiculous. But I always said, like, I think Pritchard is going to be kind of the barometer of this team. When he plays great, the Celtics can cruise. When he doesn't play great, everyone else has to kind of step up in a way. Eddie, when you look at Pritchard and what he's been doing, I mean, coming off that 36-point game against Atlanta and then here tonight, finishing with 28, a plus 12, how much of a difference maker is he when he really, like, explodes to those double figures?
He's a huge difference maker. When he was starting, he was playing great basketball. Then coming off the bench, that gives us a different type of punch. And I think that's what Joe and the coaching staff and everybody in the organization was looking at, is like, okay, when Jayson comes back, because we didn't know if Jayson was coming back or not, if JT was coming back. But, hey, we're going to move him to the bench. This is going to be our guy that comes off the bench to provide that spark, to provide that calm settling at times and able to go get money. He was super efficient tonight. He had, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 for 18 from the field with the 28 points. But on top of that, it's just he had a spell. I want to say it was like a 3-game spurt where he went 0 points, then he scored, had some money, and then he had 0 points. I don't remember in the middle what he had, but since then, he's been playing lights out basketball. And I think that that's what they were looking for. And when you go from a starter to a bench player, sometimes it does take a little bit of time to remember, like, okay, this is my role right here. And I think that he's found it. He's a guy that comes off the bench, but he plays starter minutes.
Did you see his arms? He's got like all these scratches, and they were cleaning blood off his shirt. Looked like they put a cat in the locker room and turned it loose against him because he was just all carved up. But that's the way that Payton Pritchard plays. Like, what I marvel at is it's not just the way he's scoring and hitting threes and doing all that. He goes in there, and he had, like, his right forearm was living in LaMelo Ball's chest just to carve enough space to be able to go up in the paint. Hit the fadeaway in some instances. Like, his craftiness around the basket has been on full display. I think it felt like, and I'd have to check the numbers on this, felt like he maybe like had come back to earth just a little bit in that area and was living on the three a little bit more. But this little stretch, he has been fantastic. I love the confidence he's playing with. Again, for a guy like that size to go in there in the trees and just have to carve out his little space. Look at those arms, all scratched up.
Do you think they lied to him? Do you think they lied to him about, hey, the Jays playing?
So he would have been hit for it. They're like, no, we're going to start you tonight because we're so shorthanded.
Yeah.
And then off he went.
Keep lying. It works. If that's what it takes. It's working for Payton Pritchard. All right, let's get to the drain of the game tonight. It is brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. The need to know when the drains just don't want to flow. How about this? The hustle work. Okay, Queta diving after the ball on the floor, gets it out to Payton. Boom. From downtown. Love the hustle. Look at the fight here.
Neemias.
Talk about arms. Look at probably his arms getting scratched up and the distance. Payton Pritchard.
What did he do? Look at those arms. Carved up.
They are cut.
Like they put a cat in a sleeping bag and turned it loose.
Yeah, and he got a buzz cut. All right, let's get to the latest Celtics Talk podcast. And the good news is, Chris, you get to record this one. We get to record this one a little bit early tonight. For much more on tonight's game, you can find it on your favorite podcasting app. You can also find it on YouTube. And it's presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24. We have so much more to unpack here. Stay with us for Celtics Postgame Live. Celtics, look at this, on the road. The first of a 4-game road trip. They get the job done here tonight. A quick turnaround tomorrow. They see a familiar team in the Hawks, and then they got the Heat and the Bucks, but they get to 50 wins so far on the season, having done so in the 15-point win here tonight. And Jayson Tatum coming off of now a season high with those 32 points, 8 dimes, and 5 rebounds. All right, let's get back out to Charlotte to hear from head coach Joe Mazzulla. The coach's press conference is presented by Amica Insurance, the exclusive auto, home, and life insurance partner of the Boston Celtics.
I mean, I thought, he did a good job just getting to the spot that he wanted. Saw a bunch of different coverages tonight. He was able to kind of diagnose those. He played against drop, played against switching, played against the double team. I thought he made the right play when it was necessary. Tonight, only 5 rebounds, so we got to get better at that. But I thought he did a great job, on the offensive end, just diagnosing the different coverages and making the play that was necessary. After what? I thought, Jordan Walsh was great, tonight and gave us a ton of energy. I thought, the combination of, him, Baylor, Ugo, Ron in that first unit was really good, and Luka. And then, obviously Payton, continuing to do what he does with, outlets, ball handling, and him really two-way basketball. I thought he did a great job on Kinnable. I thought he did a great job on the offensive end. Regardless of who's in, who's out, it's a well-balanced attack. And that second quarter, it was a run where Sam got some shots. I thought that kind of set the tone for us.
They've been really pressured on the glass. What did you think of the job getting rebounds?
Yeah, they had 3 offensive rebounds in the second half. They had 7 in the first. And so, again, I think that's just, to your point, that's what you got to take away. When you play against a team like that, they do a great job of getting on the offensive glass there. And so 7 in the first half, 3 in the second, much better. And I thought Neemias did a great job kind of, controlling the paint, on both ends of the floor, for the majority of the game.
This is your 5th straight year with at least 50 wins. What kind of accomplishment is that to have that kind of success year after year, and especially to do it this year after losing so many key players?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a testament to the alignment, the organization, and to the players. I mean, we've shifted players over the last 5 years a bunch of different ways, but winning still remains the most important thing. And it's a minor milestone. I wouldn't say that it's a true definition of success, but I think it's a definition of consistency. And I think that starts with the players that put on the jersey and have an understanding that winning is the most important thing and how serious they take it. So I think a lot of it has to do with them.
Joe, they came in the most made threes in the league, and I think third in percentage shooting three. What were you guys able to do?
I mean, they missed some. I think when you play against a team like that, and you have to be very deliberate about which ones you're going to live with and which ones you're going to take away, and that may look different for each person on their team. It may look different for certain lineups, and so they definitely miss some that they usually make. That's 2 games in a row where they shot around 30%, where they've been shooting much higher than that, and so but I thought we did a decent job arriving on the catch, taking away some of the ones that that we can control, and that's what's tough about them.
They beat you guys pretty good back in Boston a few weeks ago. Did you guys put that game in the back of their minds? What's kind of the approach here playing again?
I think out of 82 games, you can't get into every game having a backstory. It's a long year, but I think there's 2 things there. I think you have an understanding of, like, you play a team again, especially a good team. You have an understanding that that was talked about today about they beat us last time, and they're a really good team. They're playing well. At the same time, we got to play in 24 hours, and you got to do it again. And we're playing against a team that is playing really well again. So it's a balance of understanding that every game is the most important, and then along the way you obviously pick and choose your spots on, like, here's what happened before and here's how we can take it into the next game.
Quick turnaround for the Celtics, but check this out. Jaylen Brown just tweeting this. He didn't play here tonight. 50 wins and a gap year with the Shamrock emoji. And I kind of love this because, Eddie, this is what a lot of people were talking about, going into this year. Oh, it's a gap year. They should tank. Jayson Tatum shouldn't come back. They're not going to be great this year. If anything, they may get to however many wins and kind of ride that middle of the, 5th, 6th seed, maybe 7th outside looking in the Eastern Conference standing. And here they are clinching a top 4 spot in the playoffs while also getting to 50 wins, and Jayson Tatum coming off of a season high 32 points. I mean, gap year seems like comical at this point.
It does, but at the same time, at the beginning of the season, I did look at it in that light. But just like our iPhones, we get update information. So I updated my information, and as the season went on, you could see that this team was different. It wasn't a team that was just like, hey, we're going to sit back. We don't got Jayson Tatum. We're going to be struggling. Jaylen Brown put the team on his shoulders. Payton Pritchard elevated his game. Derek White played how he played. Neemias Queta, he took his game to a whole nother level that I don't think anybody thought that he could take it to. And then you have all the other guys that were able to chip in at times and make this team exactly what it is. And that's a team. And night in, night out, you get it from different players. You're going to have your star players do the star things, but then you're going to get it from other guys. So I'm not going to sit here and fake and front and act like, yeah, man, I knew we was going to get 50 wins. No, I thought that we were going to be a team that was going to be maybe on the outside looking in, or maybe getting that 6th seed, somewhere between 5 and 6, 5 and 8. But, they didn't believe that. And that's all that matters. It don't matter what I believe. It don't matter what you believe. It don't matter what anybody else outside of that locker room, outside of that organization believes. It's all about what they believe and the work they're going to put in. And we're seeing the benefits of all of the work that they've put in. And that goes from top to bottom.
It's been showing. And I'm right there with you. I'm not going to sit here on my high horse being like, can you guys not believe that they're not second in the East after all that they've been through last season and now this season? I was right there saying maybe 5th, 6th. But to see what they've been doing is remarkable, and they have been believing in themselves, and it's clearly showing and paying dividends out there on the court. All right, let's get to the Ford Tough. The best-selling trucks for 49 years, Bill Ford Tough. I love this play. Walsh getting on the floor, looks to Garza, throws an overhead pass all the way to Ron Harper Jr. for the tray. 7 points. Look at Sam Hauser getting hyped for him. And Nimi. 7 points to Ron Harper Jr. before he had to leave the game listed as questionable with that right ankle sprain, but really great to see Ron Harper Jr. get his buckets. All right, weeknights at 6 p.m. Tune in for our Bella Early Edition with Trenny. Trenny, dive into the biggest sports stories of the day. Presented by Arbella Insurance, here for New England sports fans, here for good. When we come back, E-House has the Tommy Award